Manchester United are 3 games away from Erik Ten Hag's first trophy as United manager, standing in the way of us before that game at Wembley against either Newcastle or Southampton is a doubleheader against Nottingham Forest. On Wednesday night, we travel there to the City Ground, and then a week later, they're back at Old Trafford, and it is a game where I expect to see Manchester United go full strength. I don't think Ten Hag's going to make too many changes, but I'm going to run through my starting 11 and speak about each individual position. I'm going to run through Ten Hag's press conference, everything that he said ahead of the game. You get it all wrapped up in one 10-minute video. Don't say I don't treat you well. So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. If you are new to the community, I'd love to have you on board. Let's run through the important talking points from Ten Hag and his press conference. And first and foremost, we won't be seeing Jadon Sancho. He has confirmed that Diogo Dalot, Anthony Martial and Jadon Sancho are all unavailable for the game against Forest. Wow. Anthony Martial, unavailable for a game of football. I'm going to be doing a separate video on that. Jadon Sancho, spoke with Matt about it on the podcast. It would have been good to sort of get him in the maybe travelling with the matchday squad, maybe no intention of playing, but just getting back to the rhythm. But no, it looks like we're going to be waiting for that game against Reading. That game against Reading seems perfect for Jadon Sancho to come back in. That's why I think so anyway. A couple of other interesting points that Ten Hag made and spoke about. He said it's a long time since United played there at the City Ground. I think we like to play in atmospheric grounds where there is a fanatic audience. It's nice to play for. It'll be a good atmosphere. It'll be a cracking atmosphere. Was it just under 3,000? I think it was a small allocation. Everyone was hoping for a little bit more than that, but it should be a cracking atmosphere. And Ten Hag said something very important here before we run through this team. He said, I think the fans here have some experience of winning trophies, especially the older ones. It's been, 5 years since our League Cup win with Zlatan and Southampton in the final. In this period, United didn't win trophies. It's been too long. We are aware of that fact, and we have to do it again. And this game here, the League Cup is not, in any way, shape or form, the measure of success of Manchester United. But in the progression and the stages of where we're going, through with Ten Hag, this League Cup is massively important. Now, this is the team that Man United played against Arsenal at the weekend. And it's safe to say that we did have some problems. We miss Casemiro majorly. I don't think we'll miss him as severely against Forest, but I do expect... Look, this is a game where Man United cannot have any sort of complacency, right? Forest were terrible when they came to Old Trafford in the Premier League. They're going to be significantly better here. Without Dean Henderson, who I think has been their best player this season, no doubt we're going to be favourites, but at the City Ground, it's going to be a big atmosphere. They're going to be up for it. And out of the 2 fixtures, this is the one they're going to be up for the most. Now, I don't particularly think that Ten Hag is going to make too many changes. I think he keeps Varane and Martinez together. You might say that we could see... you could get Shaw there as a left centre back. You could do anything you want to. Ultimately, it's whether or not you think Maguire or Lindelof, or Maguire and Lindelof will play this game. I don't think Ten Hag will do that. I don't think Ten Hag, in fact, will make any changes to that back five. I'm going for the same back five there that played against Arsenal at the weekend. Now that we know full well that Dalot's unavailable, that rules out any idea that he's going to come back in for Wan-Bissaka, and I just don't think he's making any changes anywhere else. Luke Shaw's our best left back, best left centre back, best right back right now is Wan-Bissaka, and best right centre back. De Gea, be a little bit better with your distribution, please. Please. Should be easier against Nottingham Forest, but I do expect them to have that high press on United. But a back five, I do not see why there's going to be any changes there. One change that will happen, absolutely, though. That man there, get straight back in that team, dude. Marshal this midfield. Marshal these players. McTominay, well, we knew it, of course we did, and it's unfair to try to even slightly expect it. But the drop-off between Casemiro and McTominay was... it's like falling off a cliff, really, wasn't it? Well, Casemiro, he's won the Champions League 5 times. Of course it is. It's a little bit of an unfair comparison on McTominay. But we need him straight back in this team. And we need his leadership, his composure, his calm, and him to just run that midfield. And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to have to see Christian Eriksen drop out of the team for this game in particular. That photo there, it kind of sums up how he's been these last 2 games. He just looks exhausted. We're playing a game every 3.5 days. Dude's got a pacemaker. Dude, he did not come to Manchester United expecting to be our main guy. He was there to be the backup to Frankie de Jong. So I think it's quite, for me, it feels obvious. Now, I think I've got this wrong. Every time I predicted Eriksen to be rested, he's never been rested. But I would say that at this particular moment in time, Eriksen's not particularly helping the team because he doesn't have that energy. And I'm sure it's going to be a problem in this game as well. When it gets to 70 minutes, United are probably going to tire. Substitutions are going to be key and crucial. And for me, I think this is a game where we see Eriksen drop to the bench and we see Fred come in. Yes, it will take away a little bit of creativity going forward, but it will add the energy that midfield needs, that your midfield basically needs in any game these days. If your midfield is slow and cumbersome, the other team will take advantage and you're going to struggle to get control of the game. So for me, Eriksen drops to the bench. Now, moving forward to attack, I would love to be able to say that Manchester United can give Marcus Rashford a rest. But it's not going to come in a League Cup semi-final with the away leg first. Marcus Rashford absolutely starts this game. But what Ten Hag will be saying to everybody is, look, Rashford, Casemiro, all these players, I'm starting my strongest team. It's up to you to get to the 60, 65th minute mark when you've got control of the game. You don't have a 1-0 lead that you're sitting back on and then you're welcoming Palace or Arsenal forward. Get the second goal. Kill that game. And if Man United can do that, Rashford, off you go. Garnacho comes on in the 65th minute. Job done for Marcus Rashford. He doesn't have to play the full game. And sometimes those last 20 minutes are the most tiring of the football match, especially if you're defending a 1-goal lead and you're away from home and the crowd's getting behind them, and Nottingham Forest crowd will get behind them if we allow them to still be in the game in the last 25. It's hurt United in his last 2 games. We can't let that happen. And that, for me, is why I think he's playing a full-strength team. It's why I think Rashford will start. It's why I also think that Antony will start. Antony, I actually think his first half against Arsenal, probably one of the best performances from him so far this season, which made it all the more strange in the second half. He just sort of like went in on himself. He was far more direct. And I've got note, look, Ten Hag believed in Antony so much that he was willing to spend 100 million euros, not his own money, but willing to make him, was it our most expensive signing ever? That's how much he trusted him. And I trust Ten Hag. He's earned that trust. Antony does have to start impacting and affecting games more across a 90-minute period. But I'm looking for Antony to start this game here. And I'm also looking at, even if Jadon Sancho, unfortunately, he won't be in this game. I was going to have a little conversation about Sancho, but we'll save that for Reading. Hopefully he comes back. Weghorst is going to start this game. Of course, we now know that Martial is unavailable. But, dude, I'm so done with pinning any sort of hope on Martial. The fact that, I'll speak about it in a separate video, but the fact that he's been afforded so many opportunities is a testament to his talent. But this club is moving forward too fast right now to have any passengers. Emotion aside, sentiment aside, he's had too many chances. Not too many chances, but this is the last one. Now, Weghorst, I think, has been impressive enough in these last 2 games. Debut against Palace, he's always going to struggle in his debut. I still think he was involved in good build-up play. He was better against Arsenal. So what we want to be seeing here is a progression on that Arsenal game. Get involved in that link-up. But United need to, if we're going to have Weghorst, I'm not saying that all of a sudden turn into a team that fires 100 crosses into the box. Like, oh my God, what was that game under Moyes? Like 80 crosses, Jesus Christ. PTSD from thinking about that. But Weghorst, he's better. He's not just a target man. He's good with the ball at his feet. Play through him a little bit more. If we the only reason that he's kind of getting exposed is because we're making that transition from back to front so fast that his lack of pace is getting exposed. Be more confident. Build up through the middle, and you'll get a little bit more from Weghorst. You'll probably get him into shooting positions. Guy scores inside the penalty area. Create the opportunities for him. Nice cutbacks. He'll be in position. I don't get people slagging him. I really, really don't. But for me, that's the starting 11. As you can see, one change? One change from that team there against Arsenal. And that has to be Eriksen dropping to the bench. If we need to control the last 20 minutes of a game, maybe Eriksen can come on. But ideally, this is give him a full rest, depending on how the result goes. My prediction for the game, woo. If it goes how United want it to, and I'm going to predict it will, I'm going for a 2-0 win. It probably won't be how United want it to go. And it will probably be something completely different. But that's kind of more wishful thinking. Nah, not wishful thinking, but that's what I want the result to be. So that's what I'm going to predict. Try and will it into existence. What's your prediction? You can let me know in the comments below. I expect United to go full strength in this game. Try and kill the tie. Go to Old Trafford in a week's time, and then we can take a Rashford out. Then we could take a Casemiro. Well, Casemiro's already had a rest accidentally. We can rest a couple of players. But here, in this first leg, all to play for, full strength, no messing. 3 games away from Ten Hag's first trophy. And it means a lot to him. You can tell by how he's speaking about the game. You let me know what you think in the comments below, as you always do. And subscribe if you're new. Take it easy.